If Davis Mills was playing, I might be going with the Houston Texans. And I like the Texans defense. I think they're getting hot at the right time. But this, to me, just screams ugly game, ugly offensive games for both teams.
Joe, thank you for saying that. That maybe if Davis Mills was playing, you'd feel better, because I didn't want to get called, like, everyone to tell me, like, what the fuck, are you crazy?
Real coverage, real fans.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's get into these games. And, of course, has to talk about the big in-division matchup of the week, man. If you're a Raiders fan, 2 in-division matchups in back-to-back weeks. How about that? But we got Denver. We got Vegas. Let's kick this one off to Ryan. Obviously, Broncos are on a high streak, on a very good winning streak right now. Never know what happens in these in-division games, but got to feel like this is one you do come out with a win.
We better come out with a win, and it better not be like that other game that we had against the Raiders, 10-7. We're getting to that point in the season, as Bill Belichick has said, real football begins in November. We've had some of those trash games, speaking like offense specifically. Defense, they had a little let up last week, but maybe that's just more situational with the coordinators. That's what I'm at least blaming on. Offense, you better come out and do your thing. You better just put together a solid game. I'm not saying it has to be all flashy. Just solid drives. I want to see at least 25 points on the board, somewhere around there. Defense, block the fuck in, man. You absolutely sicken me still that Marcus Mariota was able to do that to you. So I think the Broncos will get the win this week. It's in Las Vegas. I think Bo played pretty well last year in Vegas as well. So hopefully this is a bounce back game for the defense and the offense continues to thrive. I want to see us use Evan Ingram a lot more early in that game last week or the other day against Commanders. Evan Ingram and Bo, they were having kind of a sloppy connection, whether it was Bo missing a throw, Ingram dropping a ball, and then later in the game they started to develop that connection that we've been trying to see all season. So hopefully that continues and we see more of that. And also Pat Bryant as well. I want to see more Pat Bryant, Ingram, Pat Bryant. Those guys right now are going to be what's going to keep this offense moving. And then also RJ Harvey. I feel like we've already kind of seen what we're going to see from him this year in terms of run game ability. He's good in the pass game and in the red zone, but to sustain those drives with the run, I don't feel like he's giving us much, unfortunately. But you can pleasantly surprise me and put together some nice runs this weekend. So those are some key contributors that I want to see. And then, of course, Bo, go do your thing, man, and just win this game.
Just win the game. That's all that matters. Joe, let's go down to you. Any way you guys pull off the big in-division upset?
I hope not. No, I mean, I want the Raiders to win anytime they can. And for some reason, I'm going to go to that game and be there and watch this show again. But I hope it's nothing like the last time, right? Both teams had 11 penalties in that Thursday night game. 14 punts is what we got to see, and it was just some of the worst football from both teams' atmosphere. I mean, most of the time when you watch a Thursday night game, it's the opposite, right? Like, teams can't stop anybody. And this one was like, we can't score points. Nobody wants to score points, and nobody wanted to win that game. And now this Bronco defensive line should be able to get to Geno Smith, should be able to do something against the Raiders offensive line. I mean, they lead the league in sacks. They might as well just keep adding to it. You saw what Myles Garrett and the Browns did with their 10 sacks when they came in here the last time. Yes, the only difference is maybe they're going to go to Brock Bowers, because in the first meeting they were able to shut down Brock Bowers. He only had 3 targets after that monster game that he had against Jacksonville. Can Brock Bowers get it going? And you saw what Zach Ertz was able to do this week, and maybe it works out, but I don't know. I just want to see a competitive game out of these two, and especially being there. But it would be nice if the Broncos could get their running game going. I'm not rooting for them, but this would be, if you want to get well game for the Broncos, this might be it, right? To see what you got and work on a few things, because the Raiders, they just don't have it right now.
No, they do not, unfortunately for you guys. I mean, hey, you beat the Patriots week 1. And so if you think about it, you guys are actually better than the majority of the league. So, piecing 2 and 2 together for you, Joe.
I also forgot to mention that we signed Elijah Moore to the practice squad. Which
Did you guys?
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah, interesting. I don't mind. I don't mind the addition. He torched us last year when we played Cleveland. So, but he's probably not going to play. Maybe in the next couple of weeks, but I like that signing there.
Maybe a little bit of insight on Buffalo in case you see them in the postseason. You know what I'm saying, Ryan?
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's a good pickup. I like that for you guys. James, let's go on over to you. What are your thoughts on this one?
Broncos going to win. Come on now. Simple as that. I think the Broncos are going to eat. I think the Raiders have given up. Well, they gave up 5 sacks to the Chargers this week. They gave up 10 the previous week. I mean, I think the Broncos are going to get right on that defense. It's just going to be an absolute massacre, in my opinion. The defense is just going to get to Geno Smith, and Ashton Genty's not going to look good. I mean, it's in general, it's just no chance that Denver loses this one. I mean, it's going to be a tough one for the Raiders. And hey, they're just trying to get a top 3 pick this year. And so, keep losing there. You'll get there. So, yeah, actually, maybe even should be probably top 3. I think the Titans aren't going to win another one either. But anyways, Broncos win. No problem. It's going to be an easy win for you guys. And it's just only going to be a tough road from this point on for you guys, for the Broncos, for sure, for the last 4.
Well, let's go down to you, Marcus. Are you also going to take the Denver Broncos in this one?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Raiders in the spread, though, 7.5 points. Last week, I thought it was a weird spread. Remember, I said I was going to take the Broncos, but I think the Commanders cover. It was 6.5. I thought that was an odd spread, too. But yeah, I'm going to take the Broncos here. I do think back-to-back stretch road games for the Broncos. The Raiders played you close a couple weeks ago, and they had 6 sacks in that game, too. So, yeah, the Raiders off the line is rough. Yeah, I'm going to take the Broncos here. From what I'm seeing, like 95% of the money is on the Broncos to win this game, which is kind of worrisome. But then 77% of the money is on the Broncos to cover the spread. I'm going to go Broncos this week. I think kind of what Joe said. Although it just depends, right? If Carroll thinks he's coaching for his job, it could be more on the line this game. But if he thinks he's going to be there next year, then maybe there is a little bit of a not a tank, but maybe there's a little bit less motivation to win this game and more get a higher pick to get Mendoza.
Get Mendoza, man. Quarterback 1 in the 2026 draft. But everything is coming up Denver. You guys let us know your thoughts about this one in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and let's get into a massive, massive test here for the Chargers, who are going to show, yes, we are a legitimate playoff team, or they are going to show, yep, we don't got it. So if we're in the playoffs, we're probably going to be a first-round exit. Big test, James. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's going to be a big one. Monday Night Football versus the Eagles. Big game, man. And, Bolt Bros will be there. We'll be there attending the game. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to be at Thunder Alley, Electric Avenue, pre-gaming it there. So it'll be a good time all around. But massive game. I mean, the next 5 games for this team is just all playoff games from this point on. And this is a big one. And really what I'm going to hang my hat on a little bit on this one is that Justin Herbert's 4-0 in primetime games this year. He's been showing up in primetime games. And this is one of those games that I think you might be getting the Eagles at the right time, because they have been slumping. A lot of their fans, going back to a finicky fan base, they just won a Super Bowl, and they're like, this team is the worst. Blow up the entire team. Fire the coach. Doing just all these wild things and wild ideas that their team sucks. And it does not make any sense to me by any means. They're talking a lot about this team might be the 2023 Eagles, where they just had that second half just collapse. Possibly. We could be seeing that at this point. Last 2 games they have lost. Last game they also got, 281 yards the Bears ran all over them. That was real ugly to see, too. In last 3 games, it's 160 yards on average that they're allowing on the ground. They are 24th in the league versus the run, allowing 128.9 for the entire season. That could fit well into the strengths for the Chargers. With Amari Hampton potentially coming back, I think Jim Harbaugh intentionally held back Amari Hampton for this game. They wanted him to play against the Eagles. They did not want to maybe re-aggravate his fractured ankle that he had. After all, we thought it was a high ankle sprain, but it was a fractured ankle after all. So I think they wanted to hold him for this game and give him some extra time going into Monday Night Football. We might have a perfect pairing, RB1 with Amari Hampton and Kamani Vidal is RB2, or maybe just RB1A and B at this point. So where I think this game's going to be won is really by the defense. I mean, offense-wise, Chargers score about 23.1. Eagles score 22.5. Very tight on that side of things. And the Chargers defense allowing 21 and the Eagles are allowing 20.8 right now on average. It's going to be a very tight game, probably down to a 1-point game, possibly a very low scoring game, like something like a 20-21 type game or something like that. But something about this game makes me feel like the Chargers got the right time to play the Eagles. And, I know Justin Herbert's got an injury to his hand and everything too. They will get that sorted out. Even if you watch the highlights of the last game, he still was working with just tossing the ball to Kamani Vidal to the edge, which I think is his strength, which was also the 59-yard run that he had for a touchdown. So I think the Chargers are going to find a way to eke this one out. It's going to be an absolute dogfight for this one, but I imagine it's going to be a very, very low-scoring game. So defense is going to be the key indicator to win this game for whatever team wins. But I'm going to give the Chargers the edge just slightly on this one.
Well, let's go down to Marcus. What is Vegas saying about this one?
So Eagles are a 3-point favorite at LA, which I think is interesting. I would say even before I saw this line, I was kind of leaning towards Philadelphia getting 3 points. Now they're getting 3 points at Los Angeles. I think they have more time to kind of game plan for us. I mean, a little bit of a mini bye, I would say, having their game on Black Friday, getting embarrassed, getting booed by their own fan base. I think I see Philly winning this game. 75% of the money is on Philadelphia to win this game straight up. 69% is on Philadelphia to cover the spread of 3 points against the Chargers. I'm going to take Philadelphia. It's a big game for them to get embarrassed by Chicago like they did last week. I think it's the game they need to have. So yeah, I'm gonna go just on that based on what their embarrassing loss last week. I think they win this week.
All right, so we got James who's gonna be taking his Chargers. We got Marcus agreeing with Vegas. He's gonna be taking the Eagles. Joe, who you taking?
I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles in this game as well. I know they're traveling out west, and it's probably going to be another home game for the Eagles as well in SoFi Stadium. I know that there's a lot of people throwing on that blue jersey, a new blue jersey. But Justin Herbert's track record against teams over 500, and now with his left broken hand, which, you know, he did come back and play against the Raiders with it. But let's see how it is. Now after the surgery, when you're trying to hand the ball off, you're trying to do a lot more. You're going to take a lot more bigger hits against the Eagles. It's interesting. But like you said, the Eagles' offense is what scares you, right? Can Jalen Hurts and that offense get it rolling? I think the last time the Chargers played Barkley, didn't he go for like 200 yards? Like, if they can get that going and probably run the same thing, I don't know. They have to get their offense going somehow. But I'm not going to write the Eagles off, just like I'm not going to write the Chiefs off. I think the Eagles are going to get it correct and somehow get it going, and this might be one of those. And maybe it's just because I'm biased and I hate the Chargers a little bit more too.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of bias. Ryan, wrap us up with this one. Who are you taking?
Yeah, you know, it's tough. I'm right there with James. You know, Eagles have been an interesting team this year. You know, we beat them. We had a little comeback win. They just lost to the Bears. So could they have a get-right game against the Chargers? You know, how much is Justin Herbert's hand going to affect him, even though it's his non-throwing hand? And will, like, Saquon be a factor in this game? I don't know. I don't know why the Eagles haven't even fired their offensive coordinator yet, because he's been atrocious. But part of me wants to think that the Eagles are going to have a get-right game, but in all honesty, I think the Chargers are going to win this game. I think it will be close. Ultimately, I think it will just come down to what the Eagles offense does. I think the Chargers will, you know, have a solid game, but just how many points can the Eagles put up on the board? That's my belief.
Ooh, all right. So Ryan is going to go with the Chargers. I like that one. I like that, Ryan. We are going to see who is right next week with half of the panel taking the Chargers, half the panel taking Philadelphia. Let's go ahead and transition on into the final game. And Marcus, it's officially official, right? Like, you guys cannot afford to lose any other games. If you guys even want a shot at making the postseason, you currently have a 33% chance at making the postseason. So this is going to be absolutely pivotal for a Texans team that is also in the hunt to make a potential playoff run. And if they want to get in, they have a better chance than you guys, around 63% roughly. So if they want to squeeze in, they also are going to need this win. What do you think happens here?
Yeah, this is a huge game as far as wild card tiebreakers as well. If the Indianapolis ends up winning their division, and then it comes down to the wild card spot, so a game like this is going to be huge for either one of these teams, but mainly the Chiefs here being 6-6. So a few things. I'll quickly do the Vegas, and then I'll give like my kind of the analysis here. So 68% of the money is on the Chiefs to win this game straight up. However, 52% of the money is on Houston to cover the 3.5. Well, so it was 4.5 points, but it looks like a lot of sharp money's come in on Houston to cover the 3.5 points here. So it's going to give me a heart attack on Sunday night if we do win this game. Seems like it's going to be a close one. But yeah, 51% of the money is on Houston to cover the 3.5 points. It was 4.5 points when the line opened. So Chiefs 5-1 at home this year, not a road team at all. Obviously 1-5 on the road. And yeah, so 5-1 at home. Texans 3-3 on the road. Playing outside, this is a Houston team that plays indoors. It's going to be 28 degrees Sunday night in Kansas City, so that's a factor that. Yeah, that's a small factor, but for a dome team. Houston, last 4 games at Arrowhead, they are 0-4 against the Chiefs, and that's 2 playoff games, including in that in cold weather. Yeah, so this is interesting stats. So despite Houston having a really good secondary, they don't really run man a lot. They are a 65% zone team. Mahomes historically dominates zone defenses. And also, just because it's a must-win game for us, Patrick Mahomes in the must-win games, playoff games, we see him run a lot. Houston is actually giving up amongst the most rushing yards to quarterbacks this year, and I do see Mahomes having a run when that 4-man rush is collapsing on him. I feel him getting out and getting some yards at his feet this week. I think we do see a masterful Mahomes performance this week. Maybe not through the air so much, but I do see some Patrick Mavickisms this week from Mahomes. One last thing, I thought was an interesting stat here. So between CJ Stroud and Davis Mills, of the 12 games this year between those 2 quarterbacks, the offensive line there has given up 2+ sacks in 10 of the 12 games this year. So for a defense that cannot create any pressure, I feel like this is offensive line that we can exploit. However, because they're giving up 2+ sacks to most of their opponents, 10 of 12 opponents this year. And the last time we played the Texans, the Chiefs had 8 sacks in the playoff game last year, and that was heavily just with our 4-man front getting to CJ Stroud. I know it's a different year and whatnot, but we had 8 sacks that game, 3 from George Karlaftis. Hoping we get to see something from George Karlaftis this week against this offensive line that's given up at least 2 sacks a game for the most part this year. So if the Chiefs lose, so be it. I'm going down with the ship. I'm going down with the Titanic. So, yeah, give me the Chiefs to win this game on Sunday Night Football.
All right, Marcus is going to go with the Chiefs in a big game. Joe, who are you taking?
I'm with Marcus. If Davis Mills was playing, I might be going with the Houston Texans. And I like the Texans defense. I think they're getting hot at the right time. But this, to me, just screams ugly game, ugly offensive games for both teams. And I can see it just being one of those tight, low-scoring games. And when it's one of those, I always go with Andy Reid and I go with the Chiefs. So I'm gonna take the Chiefs in this game. No really rhyme or reason. I feel it's gonna be an ugly game, and I'll go with the more experienced coach over that.
All right, I like it, Joe. Ryan, let's go on up to you. You got a hot take about this one? You gonna take the Texans?
Joe, thank you for saying that. That maybe if Davis Mills was playing, you'd feel better, because I didn't want to get called, like, everyone to tell me, like, what the fuck, are you crazy? I genuinely just think the Texans have been playing better with Davis Mills. He gets rid of the ball better. CJ Stroud tends to hold onto the ball quite long. So I do think that there is a good chance the Texans could win, but realistically, if I had to put my money on it, I'm gonna take the Chiefs just for the fact that they are an Arrowhead. And for, like, the things that you mentioned, Marcus, they do give up a lot of running yardage. I mean, the Texans defense, like, when we beat them, Bo had like a 30-yard run to get us into field goal range, just wide open. So I think Mahomes is definitely going to have a field day with that, because the pass rush does get there, but then they just leave gaps. Like, they push up the field, and then there's just gaps wide open in the middle. And Mahomes is a master at, getting through those gaps and taking off running. So I'm going to take the Chiefs this weekend, as much as I will be rooting for the Texans, though. So
we'll be rooting for the Texans, though. James, let's go on over to you. Wrap us up for today's episode. Who are you taking?
I'm going to go away from everybody. I'm choosing the Texans, boys.
Wow. All right.
Yeehaw. Let's go. Big thing, too, I'm going to say, and go back to what Marcos is saying. The offensive line has been getting some injuries for the Chiefs. And go back to what the Texans have been doing. Last 3 games, they're averaging 4 sacks a game. The Chiefs are averaging under 1 sack a game. And they're not doing well getting to the quarterback by any means. So the way I'm viewing as this is a very big defensive sided game. If the Texans defense could do what they're doing and could get to Patrick Mahomes and take him off his spot, I understand the concept of Patrick Mahomes doing Mahomes magic, running, finding those gaps, all those different things. I get it. But something about the Texans and that defense is just going to start attacking Patrick Mahomes the whole game. And so you attack the weakness, right? Your left tackle's gone. Josh Simmons is gone. Go after that side. Start attacking that. That D-line is tough. It's one of the best in the NFL, and I saw it firsthand last year in a playoff game, and that was not fun to watch by any means. And it seems like that second coming of that defense is here. So I'm choosing the Texans all the way, baby. Let's go.
All right. I like it. Come on, James. Pump your chest. He's going to be taking the Houston Texans. And, well, James, you're either going to be coming back next week. You're going to be feeling yourself, or We're gonna be coming back next week, and we're gonna have Andrew on the show. So it's gonna be one of the two. But let us know your guys' thoughts about these games in the comment section below. But that is going to wrap it up for today's episode of the AFC West Roundtable. As always, appreciate you guys so much for watching. Big shout out to the guys on the panel for always repping it with us. Big shout out for Joe for filling in for Samoan this week, man. That's our guy right there. Appreciate you as always, Joe. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button on your way out. Hit that thumbs button on your way out. But until next time, we will see you live next Tuesday, same time, same place.
Roundtable Sports Network is your one-stop shop for all things NFL, with daily live shows covering all 8 divisions in the league, hosted by the best content creators on the web, all on one network. Real coverage, real fans.
Big shout out to our good friends over at Sleeper. Use promo code RTS like you see on the screen, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit, man. You can turn $100 into $200 free right now with Sleeper. Terms and conditions do apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details, currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today for all of your best player props, parlays, and everything in between. No better way to have a little bit of extra fun this football season. And right now, we can't put a parlay because it looks like their app is down. So we're going to kick it to you guys. Let us know what your parlays are in the comments section below.